And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Dipcatcher Radio back again. Talking about Quantum Raffle launching under 24 hours. For those of you who haven't heard about it yet, Quantum Raffle is a speculative experience on PulseChain. It is basically a big raffle with some incentives to join early, where the prize pool builds up as people buy their raffle tickets, and then there's a dynamic way where the winners are trustlessly determined. You basically win the raffle if 30 minutes goes by without any new raffle tickets sold. And if you are the final raffle ticket, the 10th from last, the 100th from last, the 1,000th from last, etc., the number of winners is equal to the number of digits in the number of raffle tickets sold. And those winners split the grand prize. So at some point, if the grand prize is large enough relative to the fixed 200,000 Pulse entry fee, we could see this prize pool just building up, because why wouldn't you, if you had the chance to put 200K Pulse in and get out 200 billion Pulse, why wouldn't you? So it could get crazy. To supplement the grand prize, there's also something called the Virality Bonus. That's to reward the early depositors who help build up the prize pool. And those early depositors, really all depositors are sorted into teams based on the number of digits in their raffle ticket ID number. And then as teams fill up, 20% of the raffle ticket sale goes to the teams that have already formed. And then those teams split that amount amongst all the team members. Team 1 has 9 people in it. Team 2 has 90 people in it. Team 3 has 900 people in it. Team 4 will have 9,000 people in it. And so since the teams all split the virality bonus equally, and then each team splits it amongst its members, you want to be on a lower team. That is to incentivize people who have already participated to promote it. It's kind of like a referral, but without ref links. And then it also kind of helps counteract some of the statistical properties of the grand prize pool, where the majority of the grand prize winners are the ones who entered later in the game. So to kind of balance that out, there's the virality bonus. And you can kind of think about Quantum Raffle as a alternative to meme coin trading. It actually has very similar gains and loss distribution, because in a typical meme coin situation, basically the first couple big buyers, they capture the majority of the potential gains. And so this kind of flips that on the head, where instead of the first guy in getting all the gains, in this case, the last guy in gets the gains, and not just the last, but the 10th from last, 100th from last, 1,000th from last. So it kind of flips that on its head, where instead of early, like the fastest people in get the gains, it's now the later people who get the gains. But then also the virality bonus can kind of be thought of like being an early buyer in something, and then dollar cost averaging through a single-sided liquidity position or limit order on the way out. Depending on how big the pool gets, the virality bonus can be pretty substantial. Kind of rule of thumb is that whatever team you're on, so say you're on team 3, you'll get back your deposit once team 5 fills up. So if you're on team 3, that means that you were entry number 100 to 999. So those numbers have 3 digits. You're on team 3. So once team 5 fills up, meaning once 99999 entries have joined, the reward from that, you get roughly back what you put in. And then each next team that fills up, you get a larger and larger amount, because that each team is 10 times larger than the prior one, but you're only splitting it over one extra team. So like once team 3 fills up, the 20% of team 3's deposits go to team 1 and 2, so they split it in half. Once team 4 fills up, 20% of team 4's entry deposit is split up amongst teams 1, 2, and 3. Team 5, once that fills up, that's split between teams 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once team 6 fills up, that's split between teams 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each time the prize pool gets larger, but it's split over only one extra one. And so that means that like the percent difference, like from like once team 3 had filled up, team 1 got 50% of that. But then once team 4 filled up, they got 33% of that. But the prize pool is 10 times larger. So the way it all works out is that the larger the game is, the more the virality bonus is. Larger the game, the larger grand prizes are. Larger the game, the more grand prize winners there are, because the number of grand prize winners is equal to the number of digits in the number of tickets sold. So it's kind of a core premise with all the rules, is that things are kind of based on the number of digits in the entry. The team you're on is the number of digits in your raffle ticket ID. The number of grand prize winners is equal to the number of digits in the number of tickets sold. And it's kind of works in that power of 10 way. I see Will in here. Team, oh, what's up? Maybe team Maximus team has something that maybe that'll be a beneficiary of this somehow if this grows enough. The raffle ticket will be in Pulse or Wrap Pulse. It'll be in Pulse. Pulse in, Pulse out. You simply send Pulse to the contract enter. So you can do it through the UI, but say the website goes down for whatever reason, you can just simply transfer the entry amount like a normal transfer in your wallet to the contract ID. It's not a special function; it's just the receive function, so you can handle that. Golkey says, "What's up?" Astro369 says, "Everyone who's anyone is on Pulse." Yeah, it feels like some good energy is back in Pulse after a tumultuous year. Love to see it. Skiza says, "What's good?" Oh, cool. Oh, nice. I can see that this is a Twitter comment. Sweet. Yeah, if you're watching this on Twitter, go ahead and retweet this. I feel like Twitter is the best place to stream now, just because that's where all the conversation is. I mean, YouTube's also good, but like it says, I have 165 viewers. 161 of them are on Twitter and 4 of them are on YouTube. That's funny. Will, you're one of now 5. Go ahead and retweet this out if you can. Got my camera resolved yesterday. If you watched the stream, my camera looked horrible. I'd been using a webcam app that you plug in an iPhone to use as the audio input, which actually looked really good, but something was up with the USB connection. Then I tried doing the wireless connection, and it was just so glitchy. So Golkey told me to get a webcam, so I went out to the store and bought a webcam. Hopefully this looks good. I think it looks good. Will says he was just on YouTube. Catch up. That's cool. So today I just kind of wanted to, now that we've covered what Quantum Raffle is, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the game theory dynamics of it. I feel like the grand prize dynamic matches up really well with the virality bonus dynamic, where it kind of creates, hopefully, a flywheel effect where grand prize pool gets large enough, becomes more and more attractive to enter. because the ROI potential for that grand prize becomes larger. And then as that becomes larger, the virality bonus payouts become larger to those early people. And then those early virality bonus recipients just keep the gravy train rolling and keep entering new raffle entries. Because since, like I said earlier, it takes about 2 teams filling up after you in order to recoup your initial entry. And so if many teams fill up after you, then you're basically, you've already got all your money back. So it's kind of free rolling because your first entry can win. But you do have a higher chance of winning with later entries because of how the 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 kind of dynamic works. And so you can basically, if you're one of the early depositors, you can basically get free later deposits, which have a greater chance of winning. So that I think is a pretty cool dynamic, which, every part about the Quantum Raffle system, I try to match with some dynamic that exists in token trading. And with that, I think it kind of is equivalent to, not equivalent, actually perhaps opposite, but you can think about it like, say you're an early buyer of a coin. In some cases, it doesn't really make sense to keep buying later on because your cost basis is just so much lower, and the amount that you're getting from buying much later, it's just incremental. Like if you got something, and I think, coins that have gone up a lot, actually, like this is part of what makes them retrace, is that if you got in on something and then it went up 100x, then say you put $1,000 in, now you have $100,000 of it. And then maybe you get paid the next week and you have another $1,000. If you were to just keep buying, you're only increasing your bag by about 1%. And you're decreasing you're increasing your cost basis by like 50x. Because if you put in $1,000 and it's went up 100x, so say you put in $1,000 at $1 price, now price is at 100. You put another $1,000 in, now your average cost is 50,000. So in total, so it kind of it doesn't always make sense to keep chasing something that you've already had high performance in. But in this case, if you are getting your virality bonus and you keep piling that in, it's like it actually makes total sense to keep piling it up, because now, even though that later entry, your virality bonus is going to be much less, you have a much greater chance of winning. And from your perspective, it's like free money because you were, you captured it from that virality bonus, and maybe you keep some of the virality bonus, but some amount you keep rolling. So for the people that are engaged in this, it could just run up. There's probably some theoretical limit on the max participation. So I was trying to, if you follow me on Twitter, you kind of see how I was thinking and unpacking this. In total, there's about 16 trillion Pulse that's not owned by RH. And so I don't assume RH is going to participate. And so 16 trillion total potential. But among that, there's probably maybe a couple trillion that's like in locked liquidity pools or in liquidity pools that aren't going to be put into this. And then, there's probably some amount of, people that are in, trade that are actively in trading positions where those coins aren't going to reach. There's some amount of people that, my message just doesn't reach. And then there's some amount of people that are, they don't appreciate that I try to speak realistically about things and that I'm willing to take on risk and try new things even outside the ecosystem. So there's, that cohort of people who, just crab in a bucket mentality that don't really like my personality. So that group of people I don't expect to participate in anything potentially no matter how big the prize is. So maybe there's a couple trillion pulse that this can get up to. And so if this got, so let's kind of work through it. So say that 2 trillion pulse, maybe that's like the max amount that reasonably would enter the system. That would be a lot. That would be shocking. So like maybe that's like the max amount. So if we have that, and so say we have 2 to the 12, and then we divide that by the entry cost. So 2 to the 12, I'm just doing this on a calculator, over 200,000. Oh no, 2 times 10 to the 12. Well, that would be how many entries? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that would be 10 million raffle tickets sold. And so if 10 million raffle tickets are sold, that means that there are, if we do count how many digits are in that, we have there's going to be 8 winners. And so if the prize is 2 times 10 to the 12 times 0.8 divided by 8, that means each winner in that game is going to get, let's see, each winner who put in there are 8 winners, they're going to get 200 billion pulse. Imagine turning 200,000 pulse into 200 billion pulse. What would that be? That would be so 1,000x to a million, then 1,000x to a billion. So that would be a million x performance, right? So that would be the if 2 trillion pulse entered this, which would be quite high, it would take a serious flywheel effect to do that. But if 2 trillion pulse entered the system, then that would be million x gain per person, fully liquid. It's not like in compared to, you kind of compare this like a meme coin thing where like so much of the value is just paper gains. Like for instance here, let's look at some popular meme coins here, and we can just kind of compare and contrast the paper gains of something versus the realizable gains. So let's take a look at the most coin. So let's go ahead and share the screen. So currently this pair, there's probably more. So maybe add like 200,000 more dollars to this, but so most has a market cap of $212 million, and then there's about $1 million of liquidity of buy side liquidity that's spread out amongst those users. And so if you look at the top traders here, there are, if you look at unrealized gain, so there are So if there's $1 million of liquidity that everyone in the whole system is sharing, and then there is how many people? So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have more paper value than the total value of the liquidity that's actually accessible in the market. And so like in Quantum Raffle, the like all the from the virality bonus or from the grand prize, there's no paper gains aspect to it. Whereas most of the gains that people feel like they're experiencing in trading any type of meme coin, most of that's just paper gains. So that's kind of the alternative here, is that the gains, there's no kind of like pumping things up with air. It's pure gains and losses. So I think that, and also in like a meme coin trading scenario, the first guy to sell, it kind of captures the game. Like, imagine there's like 5 people who bought really, really low on something that pumped, and then as up, you call those 5 people the grand prize winners, but then amongst them, it's like a race to get out. And so even if you bought really low, your outcomes versus bought low and then sold are going to be very different. And so that's kind of the design intention behind the system, is that that there can still be massive gains, but then they're also very realizable. And then the rules around how those gains are allocated, they're just kind of fair and transparent. And that's kind of the whole purpose of this really is to give an alternative on-chain experience for achieving some ROI, other than just shit ticker rat race. And I think it definitely achieves that. And the more people that hear about it, the more that can kind of become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And overall, I think that this can become a unique thing that PulseChain can have, that can help promote the ecosystem. I think it's kind of been I think now with pump.tires thing, that's probably been the best thing that's happened in the ecosystem related to that. But still, even though there's green candles, there's green candles everywhere on every single chain, and so it's very difficult to break through that noise with the same message, like, oh, buy this ticker, don't buy that one, buy this ticker. And then like even showing, I think by now, like that's kind of what, like in the past, I think that showing a chart that's gone up a lot used to be a powerful message. But now I think so many people have gone through the ringer, just getting fucked buying something that already pumped, that I think the receptiveness to that is just lower. And so I think that if that like potential for high gain with low risk, or like turning a little bit of money into a lot of money, if there's an alternative way to frame that outcome, that could be something unique that people aren't hearing every day from every single chain. So I'm hoping this can be like, larger grand prize pool means more, more marketing power that people have to be able to promote this, and hopefully this can drive a new audience into PulseChain. You got a comment here, retrostatic. I hope my video is good, but it says interesting concept. It'd be great if this was tied to existing revenue streams, like getting entered into the raffle automatically when making a purchase helps create a sustainable loop as well. Yeah, I mean, The first one I thought of that actually makes sense would be if uh, the PulseChain validators baked into their script something that they would, include transactions into the raffle, especially from priority trade fees. You could basically get like free raffle ticket entries. That they sort by the priority fee, and so the amount that they're actually getting is kind of low. Oh no, what's happening? I think my connection is screwy. Hope you can hear me. Comment if you can hear me and see me. But yeah, so validators, I think, could turn high priority fees into free raffle entries, basically. Because the raffle entry is relatively low, it's only $10 about. It can be a way to turn that revenue from the priority fee into something that can potentially get you a lot. So I think it's pretty exciting. I've been thinking about just different types of kind of for a while. I've been trying to think of alternatives to just like shitcoin trading. One from just like the user's experience. I think it's definitely exhausting. Like there's really there's no way to get around it where like if anyone's going to have really high gains, those gains have to come from someone. And just how it's created a scenario where it almost never makes sense to hold a token for more than a couple days. Like that's kind of, I think that experience is pretty exhausting from the end user. But also like from a developer perspective, it's very difficult to just like promote a coin that trying to get people to focus on only one thing when the market does not want to focus on one thing. It really puts you into a box that's really difficult to kind of break out of, especially when the odds of like the thing that you launch being the thing that really takes off and really holds power, like the odds of that happening are so low. And the market as of 2024, they want to cycle from thing to thing to thing. And so knowing that the market wants to cycle from thing to thing to thing, it's hard to suggest to people to only hold one thing because even though that may be what you want them to do, the market wants something else. So trying to suggest that that they should do something different than what the market desires, that's a tough situation. And so I think that this is just kind of a different way, like that eliminates the tough decision, because if you're trading tokens, there's a couple tough decisions to make. One, when to buy, or if to buy, and then two, when to sell. And your entire performance is based on your decisions made there. And whereas in Quantum Raffle, the decisions are kind of made for you in a way, where like if you're going for the virality bonus, you should enter as fast as you can. Or if you think the prize is large, just enter at any time. And so there's kind of no like performance based on when you enter and when you exit. It's kind of just based on when you enter. And with the virality bonus, there's kind of a race there. But then with the grand prize, it's more just that you entered at all. Because the way that the prizes are kind of, even though it's not random. I've been trying to, maybe someone who's has a strong math background or statistics background can help me unpack what the accurate term is for this type of distribution of winners, because it's not random. Random would be that they're randomly distributed amongst the set, which they're not. It's not a Gaussian distribution either, which, let's look it up. Let's try to study this. Let's ask Claude, because Claude knows my contract. Okay, so do you understand? I'm going to prompt Claude with. I'll let you guys look at this. Okay. Do you? I can connect pretty slow or something. Do you understand the grand prize dynamics? Just to kind of get it rolling. Yep. Okay. So it understands that. So let's ask it to, see this code. I've trying to, people would ask for a bot that would let them just kind of like, if it got low, it would enter for them. So I was kind of exploring that. So let's ask it, what would you describe the mathematical distribution of grand prize winners in the system? I don't think it's random distribution. Maybe something else. Logarithmic distribution. Interesting. Okay, this is a logarithmic distribution of winners. It's not random. All right, thank you, Claude. So that's a good way to put it. I should have known that. It makes total sense. So Quantum Raffle is a logarithmic distribution of winners. So that's pretty cool. Retrostatic says yes, exactly. That's a really good idea, and I like that you said it could be a big showcase for the chain. Yeah, I mean, just something new. Like, that's kind of been the outcome of just the proliferation of these new coins that are kind of ephemeral. Where people just go from thing to thing. It's like, how can you possibly break through that noise? Especially when they're strong competitors that have much better marketing advantages. So, okay, cool. Next iteration, what if the pulse were used to swap to hex and create a pool party stake? The winners get that token instead, and every round locks up more hex. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a cool idea. Kind of alternative grand prize pool systems. That is a cool idea. I'd probably make it where people enter with hex. I just have, maybe it's just me being dumb, but I kind of have a problem with contracts that automatically swap into other things. Just because, like, from experience, if you're telegraphing your buy order, you literally, like, there's no way to get around people who are gonna just trade around your buy orders. So you're basically just giving money to someone who's trying to counter trade you. So probably would just have people enter with hex. And I thought about making this like general purpose any ERC20 you could create a raffle with. Um, but at least for the first one, I just wanted it to be Pulse because it eliminates the approval step, um, which just kind of sucks. Like the approval step just kind of sucks. Um, so eliminating the approval on this, because if you were to do Hex or any other ERC20, first step would be approve the tokens, and then the second step would be to transfer the tokens into the system. And so rather than that approval step and then the actual entry step, you have just a transfer of Pulse directly into the contract. And also this has the benefit of being able to not rely on the front end, or not have to like you can just send Pulse. Like if the site's down, or if like you just want to enter and maybe you're not on your computer or something where you can connect, or you just don't want to connect, so you don't trust the website, you can just enter the raffle by sending Pulse. And then you can claim your rewards just on the Block Explorer too. So you don't have to use the front end, but just doing the Pulse deposit is very simple. It says there are 404 live viewers on X. I don't know if that number goes down. I've heard, like, I've seen it where it just like adds up and up and up. I don't know if there's 400 actually live viewers right now. I see it ticking up, but I don't know if it is possible to tick down. Do you have any comments on Twitter to talk about? Yeah, I mean, it says there's 405s here. I'm going to retweet this. Join the discussion. SLove Minimalist says, yeah, entering the Hex makes sense. I was thinking more gas efficient to send native token if tickets are cheap. Yeah, I mean, it would be, because then, like, say people were swapping into Hex on their own, you know, it's a bunch of individual swaps. Yeah, I think that, I mean, there's really a lot of ways that this can go too. Like, if you remember the kind of the prototype of this was that game Big Money Button, which didn't have the virality bonus, just the grand prize. And that, I mean, it was kind of more just like a prototype experiment. It was hard to kind of break past the threshold on what would keep the gravy train rolling on those. But just kind of seeing how that dynamic, like this is kind of like the next iteration. But I think that there's a lot of design space around virality bonus dynamics, even grand prize pool dynamics. I haven't really revisited or rethought the structure of grand prize pool, but maybe there are, like, you know, because as is, all the grand prize pools are equal. So, and maybe probably the way I would do it would be to make the smallest ID number of the grand prize winners win the largest prize. So, like, let's take a look at this past raffle. So this was like down here, you can see like this was a simulated raffle just on my testnet. I have these bots running that, and you can kind of see it here too. I actually have a bot running that once this reaches 5 minutes, it enters. But like here in this simulation, 23 billion Pulse deposits. And then these are the grand prize winners. So you see, like, 5 of the grand prize winners are greater than 135,000. But then this one is 45,000. Maybe doing it where the grand prizes are larger based on how small your entry is, so that the grand prize paid to earlier depositors is larger than grand prize paid to the later depositors. Maybe that could be a way to like even further boost the race to get in early, because if you're one of the lower numbers, then your grand prize is going to be bigger than the later ones. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it could be to different rules around how the game ends. So instead of like a 30-minute without a new entry, maybe there's something where like if you enter with, say if you buy 10 like if you buy 100 raffle tickets at once, then maybe that like shortens the game. So instead of 30 minutes, it cuts to like 25 minutes. So like, or some type of rule around like, if you put in a lot, you can kind of influence how the game ends. Maybe something like that. Or another thing I thought of would be that, like the game, like maybe there's like an address that has the right to declare what the last raffle ticket will be, and maybe they can declare it in advance. Like maybe the rules are that like the final raffle ticket needs to be like 100,000 raffle tickets greater than what the latest one is. And then from there, what the last one is, then it kind of turns into a race to end the game, to try to lock in and get those grand prizes. So maybe things like that make the ending a little bit different. So yeah, I think there's a lot of design space around this concept. 21 hours, 44 minutes, 52 seconds until it launches. What else can we talk about related to this? How many Pulse do you think will enter? How can this be advertised to people outside of PulseChain? What's crazy is that since I've been, in my text messages talking about Raffle, I'm getting ads on Instagram for raffles. So straight up advertisements. I know that that advertising tokens is generally blocked by major ad networks, but I don't think advertising raffles is. So that is one way to do it. Just like it's like a real advertising mechanism. Going to farmers markets and sitting out there with they have raffles at farmers markets. Because I think, yeah, even an ad campaign on X could be effective. Maybe that's what the site needs is like a like, what's the best way to get Pulse with your debit card? That's the question to. Like if you were to try to get, like, you meet someone and they just want to enter the raffle now, how would you get them on? I know the Wallet Connect thing here has. I know right here on the, I don't know if you can see this little modal. Yeah. So maybe, well, I mean, here, like you can't buy, I mean, you can buy ETH. Buy with debit card. Network. Yeah, so network fee. Maybe I don't want to buy USDC. I want to buy ETH. Oh, do they not even let you buy anything other than USDC? Shoot. Maybe that makes sense. Probably change now. They have a widget. Okay. Do you think it'd be possible to create a zapper for liquidity farms for ease of use, but it sends a percentage of raffle? I like this. What's a zapper? Tell me what that is. Greeting from YouTube. Start watching on X because you have a bigger following there, and X puts you up on top. It's YouTube. Nice. You mentioned cutting time with the amount of raffle tickets. That would be a pay to win thingy. Not so cool when you think about the gaming this time. Yeah, that's kind of the like. That's certainly one of the trade-offs of that idea would be to, and it, so that would mean it would have to have some type of like limit. You know, wrapper, maybe. Yeah, I mean, truly, all a contract has to do is just send ETH to the contract. So, anything can work. So, I mean, we have a bunch of more viewers now than we did earlier. But it would be great to automate LP farming and pulse validating rewards. Good. Yeah, the pulse valid. Maybe I should talk to the people who have built some of those pulse validation scripts. That'd be so cool if they like. Who knows how? I don't know if they want anything in kind of infringing inside that, but people who do like the mevbot stuff or like the arbitrage spreads, part of validation systems, they maybe would. Internet Money Wallet added an on-ramp to Pulse. I think it's capped at $300. Okay, yeah. I mean, the Wallet Connect thing that we use works with Internet Money. Maybe I should prioritize the Internet Money on the like how it shows up in the like right here. So if I disconnect, connect wallet, all wallets. Okay, I think I can. Yeah, because it's not on these. And it's not. I mean, I think it is certified, but I'll figure out how to put Internet Money in there, like so it's more prominent. But a change now thing, I think that's a good idea actually. Zapper is a tool that simplifies adding liquidity to a pool by allowing users to deposit a single token, automatically swaps and bounces token. Oh, that's cool. Is that on PulseChain? Matty Allen says, "Did catch rocks." Thank you. I think you rock too. "21 hours, 37 minutes, 8 seconds." How many millionaires could QR create? So if the prize pool was, we kind of walked through it earlier. per game, maybe 8 per game on the grand prizes if it got really big. But then the virality bonus can also too. Like the team 1 and team 2 and team 3 could get big ROI. There's a spreadsheet here. Let's pull up the spreadsheet. Let me find it. See, probably the way that this might play out is that maybe the first round isn't as large, but if it gets pretty big, like if it's round 2 could be massive. Like this isn't just like a one and done thing. Like basically, you can run it back, and you can kind of see these past raffles. Like on this test one, this one going now is the second one. So here, let's. Let me pull up this so we can. Okay, so let's share this tab instead. Zoom in a little bit. So here we have prize math. So running total deposits. So right, I kind of framed the theoretical limit as being 16 trillion pulse. So this would be kind of, say like 20 trillion there. Grand prize per winner. So that this would be, so here, this is it. I wish this was stuck on there so we could scroll, but so the screen number here is number of winners. This is grand prize per winners. So if there were 20 trillion deposits, 8 people would win $100 million of pulse. So maybe more realistically, so to get the grand prize at current price of 0.0005 PLS or dollars per pulse, getting up to 200 billion deposits would create 6 grand prize winners, and the prize would be about one over $1 million per grand prize winner. So that's kind of a cool. That's the goal. 200 billion total pulse deposits. Totally doable. And then $1.3 million per grand prize winner. And in that case, the team 1 would receive about 900 million pulse. Imagine turning 2 million into 900 million. Team 2 would each win. This right here is the per the virality bonus per user. So team 2 would win 90 million pulse, about 91.5 million. Team 3 would win about 9 million. So imagine turning 200,000 pulse into 9 million pulse. That'd be a pretty big win. And that'd be about 900 people get that. Team 4 would get about 900,000. So they made about 4.5x theirs. Team 5 would have gotten back 80,000, so they would have recouped almost half of their deposit. But Team 5, a lot of people from Team 5 are going to win the prize. Most of the winners are going to be in Team 6, but if you're in Team 5, you'll have a chance at winning there. So maybe that's the goal there. Or I mean, even larger, like truly, even larger is of course bigger, but yeah, that would be about a million raffle tickets sold. Let's do it. I like how you don't have to be early. Flip script on heads. Well, the virality bonus benefits to be early, because you see right here, team one, you're splitting over only 9 people. Team 2 is splitting over 90 people. Team 3 is splitting over 900 people. So being on a lower team boosts your virality bonus, because the virality bonus is allocated equally amongst the teams, but then the teams have a different number of players. So being on a lower number team boosts that. So in that case, you want to be low. But for like the big money prize, you want to be late. And that's where I think it really flips it on its head, where because and it kind of makes it like when you look at any meme coin holder distribution, it's like once the first guy has already bought, there's no supplanting that. Like they literally have to sell, and then the guy who bought after him did. So like if you're chasing a trend, like if you're buying something that's already pumped, like you're not going to experience like a massive like you could experience multiples, but like every multiple you're experiencing, like if you bought 100x higher than someone else, every time that their amount is 100xing. So like there's no way to catch up. And so in this case, these people, they like the late buyers. So it's like the big winner is not already determined. Like with any meme coin, the big winner is already determined. It's just a matter of how much that person wins is really what it is. Like you look at the like in here, let's share the screen. So like this guy who turned 8,000 into $3.9 million of paper value here. That guy already won. Like there's no supplanting that. And so the like when you look at these, like these 2,000 into 2.5 million, they've already sold at 100x. This person already won. There's no like every new buyer here is really just boosting the performance of the early guys who already won. Same with this guy, 15K into 2.3 million, 1.5K into 1.9 million. Wow, they must have, no, I mean, they bought, yeah, this is a big winner here. Yeah, like, let's see if we can zoom in on when they bought. Yeah, so like the winners are already determined. It's not to say that things that are popular can't keep running, but like the big grand prize winner is already determined. So there's no one buying now has a chance at grand prize. Whereas in the Quantum Raffle, like that's like the real dichotomy there, is that it's like these late buyers are the big winners, and the late buyers pay the early buyers with the virality bonus. It's kind of the dynamic. I like this because it's more honest about just shuffling around money, but it's still useful because temporary lockups and hype can bootstrap more adoption and wins. Sure. And if this thing indefinitely grows, then I hope my audio is okay. Tell me my audio is not fine. But someone suggests something that I thought was really insightful. They're like, this could turn into like a 15-year stake, where if you're earning the virality bonus, you are like earning yield forever, which I thought was really insightful. How like that grand prize, if it gets so attractive, then it just keeps going, and so that would, during that time, it would like the pulse effectively locked. It becomes unlocked through the virality bonus, and then once it ultimately does allocate the winners, the grand prize is allocated, then it's unlocked. But yeah, and you're right. It's like, all crypto is a zero sum game. It's actually negative sum in many cases, and everyone is your competitor. I think people misunderstand, or they tell themselves things that are not true about community. There is a social layer, but everyone in your token community is your competitor. So, because their realized gains are your losses. Anything that someone else realizes is something that you could have realized. And so, this is definitely a lot more straightforward in that sense. Where like maybe in this case the teams are kind of the, like maybe there would be some camaraderie amongst the team members, but the it's 1v1v1v1v1, everyone against each other, and so I think it is a lot more transparent. Thought about including a token with 1% buy and burn to give all the losers. Not a bad idea. The contract does in fact track the participant record. So, and the leaderboard of winners. Haven't talked about this. Wonder what that could be used for. It tracks. So this contract as is isn't going to mint a token, but there was a token minted or airdropped. We've got a participant record where you get added every single time. This just tracks how much you've deposited all time across all games. And then this one is a leaderboard tracking win, like how much you've won over all games in the contract. So you never know these days. How do you get to a specific team again? Here, let me pull it up. Let me show you a. Okay, so this shows the team breakdown. So the way it works is that the team you're on is based on the number of digits in your raffle ticket ID. So team 1, our raffle ticket ID number 1 through 9. Team 2 is 10 through 99. Team 3 is 100 through 999. Team 4 is 1,000 through 9,999, all the way down. So number of digits in your raffle ticket ID equals what team you're on. It's also shown here. Actually, here, we'll show it right here. So this shows an example from like the prior sample. So, team 1, 1 through 9, team 2, 10 through 99, etc. And the way that these go is that they are here. I'll show you here. The raffle ticket ID number that you get is it just increments. It starts at 1, and then just every single new entry is there. So here, I'm going to buy 10 raffle tickets here. Do you guys want to do this on testnet? Reply in the comments if you want to do this on testnet. I have a faucet. It'll connect you to a local testnet that I've deployed. Oh wow, Raffle. Oh no, not Raffle ever. Oh. Okay, so actually the raffle here, the test raffle ended, and then now a new one began. Yeah, so cool. So you see how like the first raffle. So here on testnet, I just restarted a new raffle. Testnet. So the first raffle ticket was number 1, and then so to balance out just like how big the team 1 earnings are, the first 9 raffle tickets cost 2 million pulse, and then after that they're all 200,000. So, and you can only buy these one at a time. You can't just bulk buy all of them. Let's just try to get. I thought about making it where like only one can be got per block. Other ways to spread out to allow more people to get these ones and to kind of make that race a little bit different, but the raffle, the first 9 raffle tickets are 2 million pulse. So here, why don't I? Who wants to try to testnet? So you want to be early if you want to be on team 1. Yeah, you want to be there. Like honestly, probably the way you want to do it is you want to sit there looking at the block. I don't know, with PulseChain, you never know with the block explorer. You may want to build your own script that listens to events in the list block and sees the game starting. The game starts when the contract deployer kicks off the raffle. So you want to listen to that raffle started event and just send with a high fee, or send pulse with a high fee. You'll need to send 2 million pulse with a high fee. So kind of what happens is like if all of them fill up and you send in 10, by the time yours processed, you actually get 10 tickets in team 2. So what that means, if there's 20 people all racing to get in, team 1 and team 2 are going to fill up like that. And once that's filled up, then it'll come out to be about what, $1,000, about $2,000 prize, which I think a good starting point. 2,000 spread over, if team 1 and team 2 are filled up, 2,000 over 3 winners. Pretty good. It's probably worth it. How about adding weights to increase the odds for holders and Maximus go for set? I thought about this. I was really I thought a lot about this and because like it's like of course I want to do things that kind of benefit that. But kind of the reason why this is like a totally standalone thing is that um one like there's a lot of people that just hold a very small amount of those. And so allocating some bonus to where like maybe in aggregate it's large, but then like per person is small, it's just kind of pointless. Um, so that's one there. Um, two, it kind of ties it only to those things, and especially because this is like building up the prize pool. I didn't want to like. There's not even a fee, so um, I I didn't want to be carving out from the prize pool to unrelated groups because I thought that that could inhibit the performance. I think where this boosts those things is more on like a marketing and like if this can be a strong like brand building thing for myself, then like having created this, then that's kind of the boost there. But it's very hard to make like because it's like if it's a small bonus, then what's the point? If it's a big bonus, then it takes directly away from the energy in the system. So kind of like there's kind of no good way to do that. And um, so that's kind of the thing there is that it's it's hard to carve out something that's meaningful without taking away from the system. What if losers can mint a token? Early entrants can pay for more virality bonus by buying it up. Yeah, that's a cool idea of like a token given to people who are the biggest losers in the system, and then in future raffles you can increase your virality bonus by owning a lot of it. It's a cool idea. Yes, let's test. I would be interested to try on testnet here. Okay, let's do it. Let me add back the faucet button. Okay, if you want to test it, go to quantumraffle.ai and then connect to the testnet. It's going to be called dchain. And then get your address, and then just go through. You can go through the faucet. Okay, yeah, faucet should be there. Let's see. Okay, see the faucet here? Just click that. Please don't drain the faucet. Just go for it. Let me know if this works out for you guys. See if anyone's tested it. Let's see, is anyone testing Raffle.ai? You can test this out. Use the faucet. Let's turn on some music. I wonder how many viewers we have, because I do think that the X viewers are, I don't think that those are live. I think that's like if you've clicked it, which kind of sucks. Trying to get phones, getting errors. So let's see. Let me did the faucet work? If you connect an old version of the testnet, you may have to like delete the network from your wallet and then reconnect. Not a pain. So if it says gas not enough for TX, then you just need to Did you get stuff from the faucet? I wonder how this would do on like a network like Ethereum, where like I guess that's the other part of the game theory is that gas is part of like if the gas because like every single entry, because of the way that it like calculates the winners, if it got really really big, then an entry could potentially fill a block. I don't know exactly what that limit is. It's probably close to the max integer supported by Solidity, which is 2 to the 256 minus 1. So there is some theoretical limit on the entries. So if it got to that, then it'd be pretty crazy. Okay, your error might be with the faucet. The faucet network isn't correct. Yeah. Oh, here. You're gonna try again. The faucet was on an old network. I'll test that. Okay, try again. It worked now. Yep. Yeah. So okay, that was because the old I had to reset my test net, and then the faucet was still on the old test net. Let's see. Yeah, I think some. Let's talk about the pumped up tires for a little bit. Here, let's do this. I'm gonna. Wow, this is kind of funny, actually. Let me pull up this tweet here. This is funny. Oh, I see someone join. Someone thought, let me educate you about game theory and probability, while others play penny slots and revolutionizing DeFi with scientific principles. My ecosystem has the most sophisticated tokenomics, backed by mathematics and logic. Want proof? Check my Rolex. It's funny. That's funny. All right, I see people started entering on the testnet. That's cool. We can't. Yeah. So you can only buy in the first 9. So team 1, you can only join 1 at a time. Then start once those first 9 entries are filled, then you can do as many as you want. Nice. Got them sweet tickets. Oh, cool. So we got 8 here so far. So some, like what you see on the dashboard is just like what the latest state of the blockchain is, but there can be a delay between when you, like when you broadcast your transaction and when actually. even if you see it, say like, you know, the latest one is noted. By the time your transaction gets through, it's much later. So, okay, so you can enter more than once with the same address. You just can't buy one at a time for that first group. All right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, I think my internet is kind of weak, and the local testnet is running on via NG, so it's just. Yeah, I guess 3 different people is the limit of my local testnet. All right, cool. Well, so here in a little bit when I get off. So if you did the test one, I'm gonna enter like a shit ton of them so you can see how the prize claiming works. Let's just do it right here. Here, let me. I think my internet's a little better now. Okay, so if you did the test, go look now. So I guess this can be a good thing to. Here, let's share the screen one more time. Okay, so when you buy more than at a time, you can kind of see how the raffle, like it involves your entries here. Also, if you click that, it shows you win if the final number of entries is listed below. So it tells you what would make you a grand prize winner, which is kind of cool. So as a team fills up, so right now, since I just bought 100 of these tickets, that means that team 2 is fully filled up. And so if you had team 1, you can claim from that. So like the amount that you can currently claim is always right there. And then the amount, this is from like the amount that you will be able to claim once the next team fills up. So here, let me enter another good one here so we can see how this pending Virality bonus one goes. So you see the quick, so here I'm signing that transaction. I will see it update once it goes through. So you'll see the pending virality bonus increase. That'll keep building up, and then once it's claimable, you can click claim available, and then you'll be able to get it. Okay, see how the pending increased. Now let's just show the claim available. Okay, so I claimed. We have some new entries. So it updates. So I claimed 800,000. No available now. Once it reaches that upper level, it'll be claimable. So yeah, so that's the virality bonus. So if you've tested it, just click through that. See some new comments. It's a good idea to make it more exciting. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop sharing the screen. It's time for me to hop off. Get the last couple things situated. Some cool things that there will be are a Twitter bot. Trying to tie it in with the AI, like the ChatGPT API, so that it can like comment on what's happening. That's kind of cool. Trying to make a bot that you can download and run on your own computer that will let you, that'll check for deposit, like check if if the time's winding down and there's no new entries, it'll slot you in there. But we'll see. You batch entries? Yes, you can batch mint. Only after the first 9. The first 9 can only be done one at a time, but after that, you can do as many as you want. I think like maybe 500 will fit on a block. Something like that. It'd be crazy to fill blocks with this. Nice one. Look forward to tomorrow. All right. Yeah. Get ready. 9 a.m. Pacific. Dial in. See you guys soon.